ban pool. And that means first pick option here for Misfits. Kalista for Cobby. You cannot put a bigger, paint a bigger picture around who you're going to carry, who you're leading on this game.
I mean, it's obvious, right? You go for the first pick Kalista with the Syndra and the Varus gone. They say, hey, there's not really any champions that can go directly toe-to-toe with the Kalista. You put a powerful support alongside it that can set her up for success, and she can run away with a lot of these laning phases. And then I want to see, how do Febvin and Razork play around this bot lane to enable them? Is it going to be regular ganks? Are they going to be setting up big waves to crash in and look for the dives? But it will be the Cobby show.
Yeah, it absolutely will. First pick on the other side, Nemesis gets Twisted Fate.
Okay, so with the TF, a couple shout-outs we got to get through here. First, Crossman hit rank 1 on EU West with the Twisted Fate, looking real good. Also, if you want to see insane Twist Fate action, Dopa streams on Twitch now, so legend right there, no doubt. But also, this is a staple pick of Nemesis, but quite frankly, a surprise for me to see it come on so early in. Now, Nemesis, of course, was very famous for playing the on-hit style of Twisted Fate with, you know, the, what was it, the Trinity Force and all that action, which we could very well see here, but APTF has been making a bigger swing across all servers now with Unsealed Spellbook and these types of variations.
First of the year as well. For Nemesis on that TF. Reckless will be getting his hands on the Ezreal. Yuumi has been banned away, so I want to see what that's going to be paired with. And the set has now been locked in for Misfits, so this can be a flex. I think we've seen a jungle once today already. It can go bottom lane. The Kalista set combo, I quite like some of their synergies, and we'll see what DOS decides to run. But knowing there's a TF in the mid lane, Febvin is going to secure the Zoe right now, so a little bit of keeping people at arm's length for the time being.
Yeah, give yourself some poke options, as well as, you know, if Zoe can get wave control around this mid lane for some key roam points, maybe even pre-level 6. You'd love to see that happen against the Twisted Fate before he gets that ultimate to sort of unlock the entire map for him. As for this set pick, I don't necessarily love it in the support role next to the Kalista. I think a champion with some longer range engage can work very well, whether that's the Thresh or the Nautilus. These types of picks really enable her, because once she gets on someone, they're dead. The longer range your support can jump on them and keep them there for you, the better your lane is going to look.
Definitely the case. And now the flip side, Selfmade, going to be getting his Lee Sin. Somewhat of a signature champion, says huge impact on that ability, but not seeing too many of those tanks just yet. I want to see what Bwipo and Dandan are going to lock in the top lane, assuming the set does not go there, and Wukong will be the first ban in the second phase.
Yeah, and with Wukong gone, you know, you look towards, hey, could it be an Ornn pick potentially for Bwipo, who's liked that in the past here? Could, of course, Fnatic can save that top lane counter pick for him if they do want it. Now, speaking about this Twist Fate versus Zoe just a little bit more, because I do think this matchup is going to be super pivotal in the game, whether or not Twist Fate can get out of this lane, you know, make some kills, dives happen around the map. Lee Sin plus Twisted Fate gold card. Really, really deadly here. So Fevbin going to have to respect that a lot. Probably going to need to run the cleanse here and have a jungler behind him that can help him keep him safe.
And I mean, you can feel the pick power of a Twisted Fate Lee Sin Ezreal. Anytime either the TF or the Lee decide to jump into an area, they've got a lot of abilities to shut somebody down. And now the next band's going to be that Thresh. So one of those long-range engages that you've talked about, you mentioned the Nautilus, you mentioned the Thresh. Thresh is now banned away. Aatrox, Bwipo's going to lose his sort of signature pick. A Malphite taken out of the equation as well. So Ornn is still open and available, and then the insta-lock on the Cho'Gath. So Ornn is still a possibility if they wanted to.
Oh, Cho'Gath is a really good pick here, especially if it's going to be the AP variation for Bwipo. One thing you might not know about Kalista, if she gets slowed down, that slows the speed of her jump. So if this is going to be the AP Cho'Gath with a Glacial Augment, you know, the Hextech GLP, the Twin Shadows, and all this, Kalista's pretty low range. She's going to be in a lot of trouble. A Zoe, too, if she jumps forward with that portal jump, well, then Cho'Gath can just sort of center his Q on where she is going to be returning. So I really like this option here for Bwipo.
Oh, man. So Gangplank's now going to be the counter. Locked in. Not going to be that traditional tank. We've seen a Kayle top today. Didn't work out. Now we've seen the Gangplank, and if this Nautilus gets locked in, that'll put Set into the jungle, and it is. So this is what you were expecting. And to give me an overview of what this 5 man team comp looks like.
Well, again, it feels like in early game especially, this is going to be very much about the bottom lane. Kalista Nautilus should beat whatever gets paired here with the Ezreal down in the bot side, especially a Braum. They're just trying to keep it safe under tower. And I like the Braum if they lock this in as an answer into the Zoe, as well as potential tower dives, because that's what I think Misfits are looking for. You got that big global ultimate with the Gangplank. If Set comes around a turret, that's when his ganks are going to be strongest. When he runs straight at you and you can just walk away, you know, he's going to struggle. That's sort of his weakness as a jungler. Ganks aren't insane, but post level 6, he can pick you up, bring you straight towards the team. So I'd love to see him figure out a way to get Febivin out of this lane and look to collapse on down towards bot.
I remember when Set debuted in the LEC in the spring split, yourself and Dracos did an introductory segment on how he works, and I distinctly remember you both walking just away from the screen, being like, that's how you deal with Set. Just walk the hell away. It sounds so simple. It sounds so simple. I can let everybody know that the players have loaded up into the game. There was a minor delay, so anticipating 2 to 3 minutes of us breaking down the team composition.
Oh, that's nothing.
Now I know we don't have the same amount of time, okay? Not that it's a challenge, but what I am going to ask you to do, Ender, let's look at how some of these lane matchups are going to play out. You've already given some expectations. Misfits tower diving, Razork maybe to look for some of those behind the tower plays. But if we start looking at the individual lanes, you know, how do you anticipate some of this to play out? Yeah,
well, again, I'm sort of looking at Fnatic here in the early game around mid lane to try and shut down Febivin, because Febivin on the Zoe, if he loses his flash, the lane becomes a whole lot more difficult to play. If you're ever within auto attack range of the Twisted Fate, he can just pull out a gold card, Lee Sin comes around out of the fog war, and you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So I would like to see Selfmade generate some pressure around that central focus of the map, and then by, you know, product of that, you're going to reduce pressure on that bot lane, which we know is going to be in trouble, because if Zoe can't leave mid, bot lane can't really get dove here. So that's what I want to see coming through for Selfmade, while Razork doesn't have as many ganking options early on, and again, going to be looking for the bot lane plays a little bit later.
Whenever you got a Gangplank and the Cannon Barrage in, you always know there's going to be a party in the bot lane at some point, right? And Kabi was the one that got first pick on the Kalista, was available to him, and that is where Misfits have banked themselves. Kabi back from the LCS after a split in spring, and one that was not particularly successful. Kabi has spoken out in an interview with ESPN, in an interview with us, saying it was a difficult split. And what I really like is there's a lot of fans at home that have higher expectations for Kabi's performance, and you can't really get much bigger of a platform than Game 5, Day 1, going up against Fnatic and going up against Reckless, somebody who's got a very, very long and storied history with.
Yeah, and Kabe's story is a very interesting one too, because right when he left Europe, it was on a high note. You know, in spring of last year, he was the first All-Pro ADC.
Yes.
You know, touted as the best ADC in the league right when Perks made that swap into the role. But then, of course, also making it to Worlds with that Splice roster, you know, making it out of the group stage too. So Kabe, it has been a bit of a journey. Didn't find, you know, what he wanted over in North America, we'll go ahead and say that. And now on this Misfits team, a very young team, he can come in as another leader and try to carry them to another Worlds.
Yeah, definitely going to be the case. A lot of pressure on his shoulders. And as we've mentioned, producing the show remotely, thank you very much for your patience. We're very shortly going to be jumping into this game as the 5th and final match of the day before we round up with a post-game lobby. Sharks will be joined by some guests. I don't know just yet who it will be. And a reminder that we have shows tomorrow and on Sunday as well. Super Week Summer in the LEC. I'm just buying some time because we've got a video coming. Producers, how much time do we have left? 15 seconds. Ender, 10 seconds, go.
Wait, what am I supposed to count down? Like T-8. They were launching another spacecraft here. T-5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have blast off.
So I'm definitely shaking off the rust, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm very thankful to have you by my side, Ender, because you have saved me multiple times
Just
today.
giving the people what they want, Trev.
And now we get to dive back onto the Rift. So let's take a look at how this early laning plays out. Hylissang and Reckless Or are you going to start teaming up just to push forward a little?
Sure.
Place the ward in the Brambleback pit. That'll give them some information. Glacial Augment on Bwipo's Cho'Gath. You called it, so you want to see AP build and the Spooky Ghosts.
Yeah, it will be the AP build for sure. We're doing Keystone checking. I haven't done this since like they came out in 2018, but here goes. Right, we have the Glacial Augment for Bwipo, which is a great answer into both, catching out a Kabi, but also there's a lot of melee champions over on Misfits' side. Fnatic don't have great engage tools, so now that AP Cho'Gath going to give it to them with the slows from range. Another thing you don't see every day is going to be Omni Stone anywhere, but this time it will be there for Nemesis's Twisted Fate. Good news for Twisted Fate is he can use actually a lot of different keystones. His auto attacks, he can get, press the attack pretty well. Hail of Blades, sure, you stun someone, you whack him a couple times. That's going to be good for trading in lane too.
Now remind me, was it during EU Masters that we saw an Omni Stone? And I actually think you started to break it down and some of the pros and cons, but it's not too long ago.
Yeah, it was on a Bard, I want to say, which is pretty common.
Yes, it was Kasing's Bard, in fact.
Yeah, there you go.
And the only reason I remember it is you really broke down some of the strengths and the weaknesses of not only how the Keystone works, but why you liked and disliked it. So can you try to remember the rant and give it to me again?
Yeah, so I think it's a little bit different context with like a Bard. Oh no, it was a Pike. That's what it was. That was a little bit too much for me personally. But on the Twisted Fate, what it does give him is better trading tools within the lane, because I believe he's going to be going for the AP build, which is, a Rod of Ages, maybe Zhonya's Hourglass, Lichbane, these types of things. But with the Omni Stone, as opposed to Unsealed Spellbook, which is the other option, you get better trading options in lane. It's more lane focused as a rune choice, but what it will mean is that he's missing the ability to switch to a cleanse, which could prove pivotal because you don't want to get slept by Zoe and then picked up by a set, and then all of a sudden you're going to be dead.
Yeah, definitely the case. So now we need to see how Nemesis uses it. Exactly how the Omni Stone will play out in the randomization. And there's a gold card into the wild cards as well, so Featherman takes a big chunk of damage, and while we've been very focused on that, the bottom lane, Kabi and DOS pushing very heavily into Reckless and Hylissang. Hylissang had actually left the lane, so now he's just joined as the minion wave crashes against the tower. Small advantages for the Misfits duo, and this is accruing to a 500 gold lead, plus Gangplank pushing heavily in the top lane. And here comes Set, that's the flash, gets the pull back, the sleep is there, there's no cleanse, the paddle star, the true damage! Razork, Misfits, first blood!
That was so nicely played right there from Razork, finding the gank right there, flash on Nemesis, and getting him and punishing him for not having a cleanse. On top of that, Bevvin says thank you very much, picks himself up a flash too, so that means, Selfmade, who we thought was actually going to be the one trying to play around mid, it's going to be that much harder for the next minute or so while Featherman has that.
Oh man, you see those picker cards cycling through and it cannot get to gold quickly enough.
It was tough RNG because it was blue first. It wasn't like he had the chance to go for the instant collect as Feb gets jumped on.
He does indeed. Selfmade on the Lee Sin, not going to be able to find more. Also, I think crucially, it was Razork that picked that kill up. On the set, you've already talked about it. We'll have some challenges and some difficulties as the game plays out. So getting an early advantage is big, and oh man, they're going to look to punish again.
He's got the Hex Flash down there, but balling. Some good trading here.
That is indeed a lot of damage back and forth. Kabi, the first pick, Kalista steps forward. The Rend goes down. Hylissang gets taken out with the Pierce. Kabi and DOS, they pick up the 2v2 kill, and Misfits 1,000 gold up.
All right, Kabi's back, people, right there. Kill Hylissang down to the bot lane. You love to see it. Kabe showing up there as Hylissang went a little bit too far forward. Thought they were winning that trade, but Ezreal versus Kalista early on, Nautilus versus Braum, you have to give that one to Misfits. And Kabe, knowing he had the damage, knowing he could land that final skill shot, had the confidence to flash in.
Burn through all 4 summoner spells in the bottom lane. Reckless, only the flash remaining. He does manage to get away with his life, but a kill to Kabe's Kalista, a kill to Razork's Set. And you cannot ask for a better start to the game if you're a Misfits fan.
Yeah, it's looking very good for Kabe right now, but here's the pivotal thing for Fnatic is Nemesis gonna be hitting level 6 within the next minute and a half here on the Twisted Fate. No flashes down bot side means that an aggressive 2v2 lane either has to give the respect over or will risk their life. Selfmade just looks like he's showing up to clear away these waves, and Bwipo's going to be, very angry in chat, but Bwipo's just trying to set up the freeze, so that's why he had Selfmade come up there.
All right, just hold the lane just in case. Selfmade was very low. Dandam, by the way, 7 CS up and a wave in front of him. There's only 3 additional that Bwipo can make up, so small advantages. Bwipo's got the double Doran's rings for now. Both TPs are available. And that's an easy rupture to Den that didn't even try to dodge it, really.
Yeah, that rupture is going to do a lot of damage later on. But for now, it's no big deal. Now, one interesting thing we're seeing is actually Selfmade went for the Tiamat on Lee Sin. This is something I actually do a lot on the champion that was not very popular for a long time when you just had to be all about that early game impact. But we know the games are slowing down. Selfmade wants to keep up farming in the jungle, wants to try and, you know, get some sort of a CS lead if he can. So having that Tiamat is going to make his clearing faster, but of course you miss out on that spike because Warrior, when you complete it, you go from having 20 AD, you spend like 500 gold, now you got 60 AD on the item. It's pretty insane, but of course we'll delay that by 1,300 now.
Yeah, definitely the case. And of course for Selfmade is the man my eyes are going to be on right now. Razork has already had an opportunity in the mid lane where he's punished Nemesis. He was lingering, trying to use that Hex Flash. We've seen a 2v2 kill in the bottom lane, and the only appearance from Selfmade right now is just kind of backing up. Whippo in the top lane. Dragon's Rage will be made available shortly. And with the Destiny Gate from Nemesis, that duo, TF plus Lee Sin, either in a lane, in the mid lane, in a side lane, there's a lot of options that are unlocked with it. And we know that he has the ability to make those plays, has done it many, many times during this winter.
Yeah, it was sort of a signature for Fnatic, really, with the Twist Fate to look for bot lane dives a lot. Now, that's going to be a little bit harder, but it doesn't have to be a dive. It could just be a straight-up gank. Now, I would like to point out, it isn't going to be the AP Twisted Fate, so it still will be that on-hit AD-style build with the Trinity Force coming through that we're a little bit more accustomed to seeing from Nemesis, which means better sustained damage later on. It means it's very easy to itemize into a rapid-fire cannon if you want to get that bonus range on the gold card, and also helps, you know, even out some of the damage types coming through. Because with an AP Cho'Gath in the top lane, if you throw another AP in there, with an Ezreal who does some magic damage too, that might be a little much.
Well, talking about the top laners, Dan is the first to swap. He backed away 7 minutes on the clock, roughly. Has already relocated to the bottom lane. This is now allowing Kobbe to make an early advance to the top lane. We've seen those Rift Herald plays, the blue side, very frequently. What do you make of this?
Well, one thing I really like to see teams do against a Twisted Fate in particular is go for the early swaps, because if you can disrupt the standard 2v2 lanes in bot side, well, all of a sudden Twisted Fate's like, where do I actually ultimate? Of course, Fnatic are going to try to match this by sending their bot lane on over towards the top side of the map as well. But look at this Selfmade coming around. Good kick.
That's it. Selfmade finds Febiven, and honestly, that was too easy. Febiven baited himself.
Yeah, Selfmade just rolled him right there, hopping over the wall, getting the flash as well, and now everything's been slowed down for Misfits, who were the first ones on the reset, got into top lane, pushed the wave, didn't respect the gank around mid. Now Fnatic are going to be here, but Febiven has a TP. He just swapped over to it. He's going to come into mid.
Cannon Barrage available for Dan as well. Do Misfits fancy a fight? TP's now completed in the mid lane. DOS is taking a lot of damage, but look at Hylissang. He's getting melted. Sleepy Trouble Bubble will be able to tag down one. That's a stun onto Razork as they continue to chase. A parlay to the face of Nemesis before he flashes over the wall. So the TP and the Cannon Barrage used, it gets the kill. Kobbe is able to pick up the Rift Herald. Misfits, despite, you know, losing the mid laner, they punch back, they get a kill in the AD carry.
Well, it was quick thinking, right, with Febiven. He has the Unsealed Spellbook to switch over to the TP. It's really hard to catch that, too. I think it's just a text chat call out, so unless Fnatic are paying attention to that, which in a pro game, you're probably not paying attention to the chat box, you're not going to see that one coming. So he TPs in towards the middle lane. Dan had already started walking up here, so Fnatic say, we got to give it up. Hylissang, he's trying to block skill shots coming in, but he can't really save himself during all of this, and now Nemesis losing his flash as well is going to make it really hard for him to do much for the next few minutes.
It's such a beautiful Zoe paddle star over the wall, chunking Reckless for 75% of his HP. And Misfits, they got the Infernal Drake, 3 kills to 1, nearly 1,000 gold lead at 10 minutes. It's not huge, but it is significant. 2 kills on a Callista as well is a very good start, especially considering Kobbe is back in EU in his first game with the squad. Now let's take a look at what Fnatic are going to do. Destiny is available for Nemesis. He's level 8. And a real old school caster story is, if that first Destiny doesn't work out, well, that means you're in trouble.
What if you wait until level 11 to use the ult? That's kind of bad too.
Yes. But the thing is, let's talk about like what opportunities could present himself, because now Kobbe's down in the bottom lane.
That's the thing that really sucks for him is, A, he lost the flash, B, DOS is a better roaming support. So he goes mid, he forces Nemesis back, gets full vision control inside of the river for Misfits, and now Misfits are setting up this huge play down towards bot. They're going to run into Selfmade.
Ender, you called it. You said exactly how Razork was going to tower dive. Walking behind the tower, and with the help of DOS's Nautilus, that's another kill onto Bwipo. It's at the cost of Kobe. Here comes Fnatic. The Destiny and the Gate delivers Nemesis to the Fnatic faithful, and it is a triple kill for Selfmade. Misfits got dunked.
Hey, it looked good at the start there for Misfits. Razor coming in from behind, but it's the follow-up from Fnatic, who saw this play coming with Selfmade sitting underneath the tower, ready to respond. Nemesis with the gate on forward, and now Bwipo teleporting up towards top side. He doesn't have any of the slows, but he's zooming.
Yeah, he really is. Blink and you'll miss it. Selfmade,
no, Dan's tanking.
0-1. Dan was tanking the turret damage. Throws down a powder kit. It's getting nommed. Feast! Bwipo with the solo kill. AP Cho'Gath, that's
Ouch.
where it's at. Glacial Augment.
Yeah. Oh man, this hurts if you're a Misfits fan, because everything was looking good, right? They're winning the early game. Razork's like, I got him. We're gonna knock him down. Kobe gets the kill. But then what happens? Well, all of a sudden, Selfmade rather finds this really nice kick on towards Kobe, destroys him before Nemesis even shows up. And now that the consistent damage dealer is gone, Febiven can't really do much. He wants to play super slow. He wants to just throw in skill shots here and there, pepper those in, but all of Fnatic was saying, there is a dive coming. Let's run everyone down bot side.
Bring your friends, bring your family. Game 5 is delivering.
Well,
Fnatic
gotta stay inside. Don't come here.
Yes, stay inside, keep social distancing. Good call, actually. But I mean, look at this. Fnatic just swing the entire game. Now they're up 1,400 gold. They've got the kill lead. They've got themselves a dragon under their belt. The Warrior enchant completed for Selfmade.
Look at Selfmade reading Razork, by the way.
Yes.
Just always hear where Razork is going to be. Lands the Q for good measure. He's not going to take that one in here, but Fnatic ready to roll.
Selfmade skipped chapter 1 of the Razork book, but chapters 2, 3, and 4 has been able to reply. And you take a look at this. Selfmade, 60% win rate, 5 games played league-wide, 48 Lee Sin games. It's just, it's a lot of fun to watch him make plays. And maybe now setting up for another. Razork is inside the river. There's the blast cone over the wall. Rift Herald will get summoned. It's going to appear after a momentary delay. And actually, this is going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, that should take the tower there with everyone walking up too. So Fnatic not making the play just yet. Nemesis technically does have TP, but no Destiny Gate means Fnatic will just let this one charge in. Selfmade's here to make sure that Reckless can at the very least farm away this minion wave.
Okay, let's look forward a few minutes. We're 15 minutes in. This game is, well, nearly 15 minutes in. This game is about as even as it is going to be. As far as the next 5 to 10 minutes play out, what options are available?
Yeah, so actually, Fnatic might make a play very fast, because Nemesis rolled Predator from his Omni Stone, so he's got those upgraded boots right here. So I'll be waiting to see if something comes from that right here. It's a good bubble will land and mean some chunk.
A lot of damage. Febiven flirting with the engage.
Sure.
No flash available.
Yeah, he's going to be all right.
Cleanse.
He's going to be all right for now. But as to your original question, what happens in the next few minutes? Well, Nemesis is going to take a base. He has Destiny Gate. Bwipo is also finished off the Hextech GLP. So the engage options are going to be there for Fnatic. I think Fnatic can continue to try and find these collapses on towards side lanes. Play around Bwipo, who doesn't have TP, so go to his lane. Dive the tower there. With the Gangplank, he's going to be vulnerable. That's what I want to sort of see come through from them up until this next Drake spawns, and then we'll see both teams sort of collaborate and say, are we going to fight this? Are we going to give this up?
Sorry, I like the word collaborate. We'll see the teams collaborate.
I mean, that's what it has felt like all day today. It's like, I outscale. We will accept the fact that you're getting this Drake, and we'll play for the 35-minute mark.
I really like that, actually. It's a beautiful way of explaining that, like, decision-making tree.
It's like the nicer way of saying they're going to shake hands over the objective, right?
Yes, a gentlemanly agreement to just let this one go.
And much like school projects, one person will end up doing all the work, right, in the collaboration. They get the Drake, so.
Yeah, but luckily the entire team gets the benefit, right?
Sure.
Because I was the guy not doing the work. Nevertheless, Fnatic, again, maintaining this lead. There's been some big item spikes, by the way. Trinity Force picked up for Nemesis, Blade of the Ruined King for Kobe, Luden's Echo for Febiven. Dandan's working towards that Triforce. And now the boss DOS
Do they have the damage to kill him, though? I'm inclined to believe, yes, there's a lot of CC from DOS, but they would probably have to bring up Razork to make this happen.
The wave clear from Bwipo's Cho'Gath obliterated that minion wave. He's got himself a Frozen Hose, has got that Super Soaker to spray down and slow anybody in front of him. Sleepy Trouble Bubble from Febby. Paddlestar gets blocked by the Unbreakable, and there's no support elsewhere. So as long as Febby is keeping some attention in that middle lane, it has allowed Razork, Kobe, and DOS to secure the second tower.
So this is really interesting, because right before the Drake spawns, Misfits putting all the resources up top side, but they're still going to have enough time to get down there towards the Drake with the reset coming on through. Just finish off some items here. Kobe feeling very strong on the Callista. Still a little bit away from finishing off the Runon's Hurricane. That'll only make him more powerful coming on through here. As that's a really good interrupt on Febvin, because now if he wants to base, he's going to be low on mana, so that's why the ping comes through. He needs blue buff if they're going to contest this Drake.
Now, Febvin must be giga tilted, because I think that's the third time a recall has been interrupted. I've seen Nemesis doing it twice on camera already. Third time from Reckless. Obviously, it's a little bit of a joke, but like it is frustrating. You know, you get inside the head. He does pick up the blue buff. Nemesis will find the gold card onto DOS. DOS has got a flash available. Sleepy Trouble Bubble does tag onto Nemesis. Fate's Call buys some time. Kobe's in range to save his support's life. The Dragon is interrupted, but look at Whipple up top.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge win for Fnatic. They're going to get everything. They get the top lane tower, which will end up making it a trade from what Misfits were able to do, and they get the Drake. And it's all because of not Nemesis sitting inside the jungle, you know, picking off DOS there. It's the ultimate from Reckless that forced both Razork and Febvin to walk into the top side of the jungle. DOS didn't get the memo. He's like, hey guys, Dragon spawning, I gotta be down here to get vision. Well, he doesn't have the vision because he doesn't have his team, and that's how Fnatic pounce on him, and while he does escape, thanks to the Callista ultimate, well, that means an objective to Fnatic.
And now it's on cooldown, so if there is any engages around any other towers, there's some small troubles to battle for. Whippo, by the way, has taken that tower on the top lane, so it's 2 towers apiece. Nearly a 2,000 gold lead, and Razork will take some time. So I think take advantage of Fnatic's positioning and steal away that Bramble back. A trade of CC as the Rupture is swapped out for the Sleepy Trouble Bubble.
Yes, but keep looking at that interaction, because it's going to make it really hard for Febvin to go for a lot of poke within team fights. He's going to have to be very mindful of when key abilities are on CC, namely that Rupture for Hilly, who does get caught out here.
Yeah, but where's the follow-up? Dredge line comes down. That's a lot of damage coming up from Razork and Febvin. Paddlestar won't find the kill. The true damage will, though. Razork finds the hit. Rupture comes up, 5-man stack for the Misfits. Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto Whippo. Dredge line pulls him backwards. Kobe gets another. Destiny has been thrown down from Nemesis, but so is the Rift Herald in the mid lane. The hold stands. There goes the charge from the Rift Herald. Cannon Barrage is now flying down, and multiple members of Misfits are continuing the siege.
Yeah, really nice stuff there from Misfits on the siege. Hylissang once again steps too far forward, gets punished there from Misfits, who will now net themselves 2 turrets off of the push. In the meantime, top lane, bot lane, both pushing in, and Nemesis forced to flash.
Yeah, he was indeed. Febvin didn't have the range on that portal jump. 6 kills apiece, and now in the last passage of play, Misfits regain momentary control. Frankly, whoever's in the gold lead doesn't really matter right now. It is about who is landing these punches.
It's just a mistake from Hylissang, right? He's clearing a control ward where he has no team. Selfmade's in base, Nemesis top lane, Whippo in the bot side jungle. Sure, Reckless is there, but Reckless can't help you at all.
Oh man, and the pop on that Trouble Bubble, I missed it first time round. Whippo just on the outer edge.
DOS lands the Q right between the tower and the wall. Nemesis tries to come in here and try to fix things, but it can't be fixed in the end. And then, I mean, if we saw the replay continue, and Nemesis lands another great sleep, or rather, Febvin lands another great sleep, and, well, the damage speaks for itself.
It really does. Febvin sending a big message to Fnatic, if you will. But what a fantastic...
What's the message? You suck, or...?
I think if you look at it as if it were a hand, you might be able to read the message.
Oh my, okay.
What I really love is the 20 minutes of gameplay here has been significantly quicker paced, I think, than you know, some of the games earlier today. 12 kills, 20 minutes, consistent fighting over and over and over. And what I need to see happen now is who's going to be able to pull ahead and make sure that their advantage snowballs into a meaningful lead.
Yeah, well, I think it's really interesting, as Febby, we'll get out of this one, no problem, how the first pick, I think, has affected the draft so much. Febby, you're in a little bit of trouble, but...
And it just to sidestep a lot of the CC. Selfmade comes in, True Shot Barrage comes down, Dragon Rage is available, flash away. Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto Whippo, Paddlestar on the behind. There's a gold card, though, that connects
Dandan's ult is just about to come up. They can look to chase this.
Let's find out. Cannon Barrage is available. DOS, will he get chucked in from the Fate's Call? Misfits don't pull the trigger.
Wow.
But honestly, Febiven with the fancy feet to get away.
Yeah, that was really close. You know, Febby caught out at the start, used the cleanse for the movement speed to try and dodge away from Whippo, and now the team is going to be starting this one up. Whippo does have TP to re-enter into this fight, though.
This is a bold call, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. Where is the engage from Fnatic? Remember, Blade of the Ruin King plus Hurricane. Those Ren stacks are going to stick a lot. Do Misfits stay? They're taking a lot of damage.
Look at the flank.
Chopper Bubble gets missed. Gold card is primed, gets thrown out. The slam dunk unstoppable. Kobe gets the kill into Nemesis, but there's Whip on the front line. He managed to throw out the Rupture as well as the Silence. It won't be enough to help him. Dan is sitting on Reckless. Now they're running for their life. Kobe hopping, skipping, jumping, using that martial poise. Pulled backwards by Razork. 3 kills to Misfits.
Misfits just destroyed Fnatic right there. Fnatic, they were trying to find the pincer maneuver, but Nemesis is going into the backline without a flash, without a stall. Like, he just gets destroyed immediately, and that ends the fight there for Fnatic. Now, Selfmade is still alive. He has Smite, and he has to look for the steal.
Can he do it? True Shot Barrage goes out. Razork goes very, very low. Selfmade and Reckless need to pull a miracle. Razork is going to get a big shield.
He can do it. He can do it.
Dan steps forward. Not even in the pit. That's slow. That's late. Selfmade is shut down. Ladies and gentlemen, Kobe is back in EU, and he will be joining Shocks for post-game lobby. Win or lose, let's see what Misfits can do.
Yeah, watch this again, because Nemesis goes in, but he gets jumped on. Blazork from over the wall again. Blazork has found Nemesis since minute 1 in this game with that initial kill. Fnatic try to follow up there, but Whippo gets destroyed, and Dan so patient underneath that fight, waiting for the flank, just to make sure Reckless couldn't really deal any damage even on Fnatic's way out.
I'm thoroughly enjoying just the pace of the game, and crucially, while we're in that replay, the third dragon was picked up by Fnatic. They are down a significant amount right now, 3,000 gold, plus they've got to deal with Baron-empowered minions for a few minutes, but they are able to pick up that Cloud Soul in a few moments' time. Itemization-wise, couple of few big pickups are on the way. You know, Black Cleaver sitting with Selfmade. Whippo's had the Spooky Ghost for a little while, sitting on the Seeker's Arm Guard. Muramana completed for Reckless. So they still have a lot of headroom, and that Soul could be very impactful if they can weather the storm of this Baron.
Yeah, I think the movement speed in general, especially on a champion like the Cho'Gath, to reach his targets is going to be very meaningful, but I don't think we're really going to get there, or at least get there when Fnatic are on even footing right now, because Misfits with the Baron buff are going to be cleaning out these towers. Kabe very close to finishing off the Death's Dance as well, which is going to make it really hard for the backline, you know, dive damage to stick. Selfmade not going to be able to burst him down. Whippo maybe not going to be able to do it either when Kabe has the flash and the cleanse available as well.
Yeah, definitely the case. The Hextech Gunblade was picked up by Nemesis as that previous fight was playing out. And now we need to see how this wave clear goes. Razork has got that Hex Flash if he really wants to make a bold move. Redemption used to keep the minions alive, and Dan's in the mid lane. Hylissang just gets chunked out by that Paddle Star, and near flawless siege on this tower.
I mean, Febiven's playing great, continues to land these bubbles onto Hylissang more often than not, but that buys them this top lane inhibitor. Fnatic can't make the engage happen. You see Selfmade on the bottom of your screen trying to look, can he find an angle, can he find a flank for that big kick, but it's just too hard at this point in the game when there's so much CC that can stop him in his tracks.
Cannon Barrage comes out. That is a sleepy Cho'Gath, gets pulled back, slam dunked, and Razork ends up dying. He bit off more than he can chew. In actual fact, Whippo was the one that was doing the biting, and Misfits realized they had to back away. That one was not the right move.
Yeah, so the sleep was beautiful there from Febiven. Razork was really feeling himself trying to dive on in towards the backline, but the rest of the team couldn't quite follow up there with Reckless and Nemesis still pelting them in between. So the siege will stall out for the time being. The Baron should end up dwindling away as well. And this gives Fnatic another leash on life.
Yes.
You know, they don't necessarily have to fight for this next Drake. You can give Cloud Drakes over towards Misfits to buy yourself some time. But at the same time, you have reached some critical moments for Reckless, for example. The problem is when you face down Kabe, he's got like 3k more gold than you. It's a full death stance. It's not even just
No, it really isn't. And I like to play a game when I see states like this, where you know the Fnatic roster, you have faith, you have belief they can come back. But the question I ask you, young Mr. Frierson, what percentage odds do you think Fnatic have to come back in a game? They have no inhibitor top. They're close to losing the turret in the mid lane, and they're staring down a 4,000 gold lead in a very fit Callista. Percentage odds, what do you think?
Ooh, I would say they probably have about a 20 to 25% chance to win. It's not completely gone just yet because, again, that top lane inhibitor, Misfits aren't going to be able to do a lot with that for the time being.
They don't have a soul they can play for.
Exactly, right? So Fnatic just going to be farming that one up for the time being. The problem comes if they continue to get hit by these bubbles as Misfits push forward. It doesn't matter if they have a Baron. If they stack 2 waves on top of each other, Misfits are going to be able to break these last remaining towers.
Okay, I want you to give me an update if those odds increase. Obviously, you will have some obvious ones. Get some kills, win some fights. I'll be asking the questions,
If they get a Baron,
right?
it's going to look better.
Definitely the case.
No.
Those odds are not increasing right
15%.
now. Self-made, forced to use the stopwatch, uses the kick backwards. He's not gone down yet, but look at the turnaround. All of a sudden, Hylissang is the sacrificial lamb to the slaughter. Whippo has thrown out the ghost to the Super Soaker. He's in trouble. The
10%.
sleep will not find someone to get caught out, and DOS will not be able to connect with the dredge line. So Self-made escapes. Hylissang concedes his own life, but now at what cost?
Yeah, they can try to hit this tower right here. Nemesis on the AD Twisted Fate doesn't have wave. Good knock up.
That was indeed Cobby's going to be able to flash away for safety for now. Whippo will not be able to find the kill. Fate's call will pull DOS out of trouble, and while that's going on, Dan was pushing the inhibitor turret. Gold card goes out, he eats an orange. It's okay, the flash gets out to safety.
That was so beautiful. You got Supers pushing up top lane. Now he's just ping-ponging, right? Misfits back in the mid lane, pushing forward. They didn't quite have the minion wave with them, so that tower will survive here. But things getting very tense as Fnatic fighting for their lives inside of the base. I mean, even Nemesis there trying to pick off Dan. You saw he used the gold card first, waits for the orange to come through, then tries to slow him down with the gunblade, but it was not enough. Dan just playing right on the edge right there, and that's exactly what Misfits need to close this one out.
You can feel the chaos in the decision-making from Misfits, and Fnatic, they haven't conceded yet. They are still looking for the opportunity.
Whoa.
Where is this TP going? They're playing for the soul ender.
Yeah, Nemesis has the TP to get in here as well. Whippo can just eat this one and get the soul for free.
He's going to try that immediately. Teleport comes out. Is going to be secured. Fnatic get themselves the soul, but they might lose the game. There's so much damage coming down from the Misfits side. They've already taken out Whippo. Now Fnatic running for their lives. Sleepy, Trouble, Bubble won't find anybody to sleep. Dan has hopped over the wall, no flash to chase. Paddlestar won't find a target. Now Hylissang's in trouble. Dan will get caught up by the gold card. He parlays himself. Dredge line onto Nemesis. Exhaust goes down. It's another kill to Misfits, and it's Dan that gets it. Razork is ushering in minions in the mid lane, and they're looking for the win.
Yeah, Misfits still on the push right there. The first tower is going to fall. Misfits have minions down bot lane as well, while Supers are pounding on the Nexus turrets. It's really just Reckless left to try and defend this one, but I think there's way too much to do it.
Absolutely the case. Inhibitor number 2 and number 3 are going to fall. Honestly, the speed and the pace of this game has kept you and I yelling for what feels like 15 minutes straight. 22 kills, 28 minutes. All 3 inhibitors are down. And the thing that I just really want to call out is Misfits came out the gate swinging. They have made plays across the entire map all game long. And once they got ahead, I think Fnatic were backed against the wall and made these decisions.
Yeah, so Fnatic go for this play right here, and it's hard to blame them because, right, it's a Dragon Soul. That's kind of a big deal, but they lose too much for it. I think you can actually give this one over to Misfits. It's just a Cloud Drake. You can wait 5 minutes. On top of that, it might even be a bad thing for Fnatic to get the Cloud Drake. They're stuck inside their base. It's not going to have that much meaning for them. But what it does mean is there is an Elder Dragon coming very soon. In 5 minutes, do you think Fnatic are going to be ready to fight Misfits over that? If they even stall that long? Quite frankly, I don't think so. So Misfits are going to try to clean things up with this Baron to start, and barring some miracle steal, it is looking over for Fnatic.
7-1-4 in Cobby's debut game under the Misfits name in the summer split. Honestly, the game has been fantastic from the squad. They are up in the lead. Now the Baron is under some threat here, actually. Fnatic have got themselves a chance.
They can burst this.
Somewhat scattered. Feast is available. And look, Misfits, they realize it. They have backed away. Look at the bottom lane. Nemesis, his ultimate is timed out. He has no TP available. This is advantage Misfits.
Yeah, I don't know what happened right there. He was trying to recall, maybe see if someone was coming towards him, but he will be able to group up with the team. And the Baron has not been started up just yet. And here we go for Misfits. Fnatic do have a nice collapse right here. But again, Kabe is a massive problem. And they don't have a great great way of dealing with him without a flash on Bwipo.
They don't. I love Selfmade throwing up the emote right now with such a tense situation. By the way, Predator is the Omnistone choice for Nemesis. It has literally just changed. He's dinged level 16, and Fnatic somehow have arrested control of the mid lane. They get themselves the tower, but they will need to send somebody back to deal with the super minions in the bottom lane. And Misfits, they can play for time. They can set themselves up for the next Baron as safely as they want.
Right now, I don't know how well Misfits have been tracking summoner spells because there's no TP on Bwipo or Nemesis, and Nemesis doesn't have his ultimate either. So Bwipo is stranded down in the bot lane for at least 30 seconds for him to be able to run on over here. Maybe less than that because he has a Cloud Soul to back him up, but good Drowsy goes down on towards Selfmade. You gotta get him away from the pit.
Do they have enough damage to burst it down? Bwipo's not there just yet. 6,000 HP.
Could flash into the pit very soon.
Here comes the Ghost. Bwipo's got flash soon. Dan is waiting in the river. That's the smite outside of the fight. 2,500. They won it! Fnatic have got the Baron! Misfits did not land the final kill, but the Dredge Line will catch on the hill estate. Can Misfits win the fight? Das has been pulled backwards by the Fate's Call, and now they're going to be dashed all the way forward. Bwipo! He gets the feast! Fnatic are fighting back! What are the odds? They're not going to kill Kobe just yet. He goes down to Reckless. Supers are inside the base, and Fnatic find magic inside the pit.
I have absolutely no idea how that even happened. Fnatic out of nowhere. They've got a chance. I was saying 10%. It was looking doomed for Fnatic. They are back in it. It is not their game favor just yet, but they have bought themselves some very critical minutes. Watch this, because somehow Reckless finds the steal through it all. I'm looking for Rend. I'm looking for smites. Reckless is just gonna... What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? W, Q, and 188. It's an early smite. I think they were trying to combo down Rend and the smite from Razork as well. It does not work out for them. And then they try to force at this point. If Misfits win a fight, they still win the game. The base is exposed, but Bwipo goes full, but Poggers jumps on towards Das, gets the kill, and then you're gonna watch Kabe bleed out to the Death Dance. I mean, his own Death Dance. He just couldn't find someone to hit.
No, absolutely the case. Fnatic are back. Okay, so when I asked you the question, you said 20% odds. Fnatic now have a Cloud Soul, they have a Baron. They still have 2 exposed inhibitors. I need a percentage odds ender with an even gold game.
Oh, I'm saying 40% Fnatic. 40% Fnatic, okay. And it's all going to come down to this Elder Dragon right here. Selfmade actually pushing down towards bot side. Fnatic are the ones with control. Dan up towards top lane right now, so they're going to be able to knock out the shirt. And with the Baron, they could actually just keep pushing towards the base here if they wanted to, but with the collapse from Misfits, they're going to have to back away because Reckless can't join them down bot.
No, he can't just yet. Reckless, by the way, 3-0 and 5. That item disparity has been evened out. 4 completed items and boots apiece between Kobe and him.
Maybe it's more than, it's more than 40%. I think they have a good, I think they can do it. I actually think Fnatic can do it at this point. Well, you have Stoneplate now on Bwipo, that's so much damage. Items have come through, and Selfmade looking for the perfect flank on towards Kabe.
14 kills to 11. The gold is as even as it's going to be. The Elder Dragon is up. Fnatic will get much more of a benefit, but look at Nemesis. He's pushing in the mid lane with a rapid fire cannon and the Gun Blade. Destiny has been used, full vision. Destiny, Gate is now popped into the mid. Selfmade is inside the pit, the 5v5. Fate's Call has been used. Nemesis the target. He flashes away from the Dredge Line. That is huge. Now all of a sudden the Elder is going to be the focus, going to move it towards. That's the smite available. Elder Dragon picked up by Fnatic. They get the Elder. They get control. Despite having no base to speak of, it is Fnatic with all of the buffs.
And Fnatic still run down in towards that bottom lane. That inhibitor is now exposed. This is their inhib to take. Misfits all calling their entire team back towards the base. It looks like the Baron buff has worn out for the time being, but Fnatic aren't done.
No, they're not. Selfmade takes a lot of damage. He's got the GA available. Bwipo's going to step forward. I'm waiting to see where that rupture goes. Just short
70%
of popping Febiven's Banshee's Veil. I don't play the percentage game that often, Ender, but you just get a feeling when you're playing against Fnatic. It's one of those teams that has the ability to come back. Down 2 inhibitors, 3 inhibitors at one point,
yeah,
and now they're in the game.
It's insane, right? But you look at these compositions, and for so long, Misfits crushing, right? Kabe had this massive lead. That's now been largely mitigated. It's 4 items apiece between him and Reckless. Those super minions giving so much gold over towards Fnatic. And at the same time, Febiven, how does he fight within the team fight? Well, you gotta wait, you gotta play slow, you gotta play around your cooldowns, where Nemesis just pew, 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 firing on all cylinders with a Nashor's Tooth completed as well. And Kabe, low range, struggles against the Cho'Gath, struggles against the Lee Sin trying to kick him. It has become much easier for Fnatic to play these fights.
Ender, you called it in draft. You did talk about how that AP Cho'Gath with the Glacial Augment could be problematic. We're now at the stage where 4 and 5 items are very realistic. 35 minutes into the game, the late stage. Do you prefer the composition as a whole at this current game stage?
Yeah,
when
for
looking at
Fnatic, absolutely. Absolutely you do. And the reason why we didn't earlier, right, and we're saying Fnatic chances look so low, that's because Misfits have a Baron and they've got Zoe, right?
Yeah.
She was destroying them underneath their inhibitors, and maybe Misfits could have pushed the envelope a little bit faster. They didn't. They went for the slow and steady, they went for the inhibitors, and now it is Fnatic with pressure in every lane.
And also Febiven, 3 completed items to Nemesis is 4. There's an item disparity on that lane.
What can they do? How can they clear the waves? They can't without Gangplank here.
No, they cannot. Cleanse has been popped there by Febiven. He's got Ignite as his second summoner. Dan tried to use the powder kick, but all of a sudden, Fnatic have taken the inhibitor. While that's going on, Nemesis is pushing the top lane. It's 8 towers secured for Fnatic. They're just 1 shy of Misfits. Rupture once again goes out. Super Minions in the bottom lane. Super Minions will start pouring through the middle lane, and the third inhibitor is now under siege. That's the push forward from Razok. He's trying to find a target. Das has taken so much damage, and despite the sleep onto Hillisang, there's no follow-up. Third inhibitor is just falling.
Oh man, it's looking like 80%, 90% now for Fnatic inside the base. We've lost 6 inhibitors inside of this game, and now Bwipo looking for Das.
He's looking for it indeed, but he's already been feasted. He's already been gold card. He's already been deaded. Razok is the next target for Reckless. He's hammering away. That's a kick back. Kobe will be caught out by Selfmade, but a fantastic flash escape keeps Kobe alive. It does not matter. Fnatic have found the fight that they needed. They picked themselves up 3. Nemesis is on stage, the Nexus turret, as Kobe is now running for his life. Dan and Kobe, the last 2 members standing. Misfits had the game within their grasp, and it was lost to them as Nemesis will tower dive. He won't be able to finish it off. The rest of Fnatic turn back to the Nexus. From the clutch of defeat, Fnatic take down Misfits.
100% Fnatic snatch it away from them. Misfits were knocking on the Fnatic door right there, but they turned it all around with an insane Baron steal, a beautiful team fight, and quite frankly, just gave themselves enough time to come back in that one.
Plastic high five, my man. That was such a fun game to end the day. Guys, key player of the game, go vote at LEC on Twitter. Bwipo, Selfmade, Reckless. The swings, the troughs, the speed, the number of kills, it was everything.
And can I say, that is why I like games that go longer, because you can have insane comebacks like that, right? Misfits tried to play maybe a bit of a faster comp that spiked in the mid game, and they got so far, and it just came to one misexecution around the Baron buff. Reckless stole it with the Q over the wall, and then it was Fnatic's game to win.
The crazy thing as well is, despite all the advantages that Misfits had accrued, literally every punch that they landed, Fnatic had a response. At no point until 20-something minutes was a gold lead larger than 1,800 gold. Every single blow was traded back and forth. It was such an entertaining game to watch. I think huge kudos to Fnatic, to their mental, their resilience, their decision-making. But also, let's remember the fact that now Misfits, new AD carry, new support, changes from last split, they came out and really stuck it to Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, Kabe jumped out to a massive lead. They were just bullying Hillisang down in towards the bottom lane with the early kills. Febiven also on the Zoe put together a beautiful performance on the champion. It was a really good showing from them, but then you saw the mistakes that cost them the loss. Like, they're going to feel terrible after this game because it was theirs to win, and there's a moment, right, where Razork dives underneath that mid lane tower. That gives Fnatic so much time to come back into it, because I still believe this was supposed to be a Misfits win.
Misfits and making plays at inhibitors that should win them games and doesn't. Real old school call out. I don't know if the graphic actually ran earlier, but key player of the game options was at LEC on Twitter. Bwipo, Selfmade, Reckless. Those are the 3 we're talking about. Thank you for throwing that one. I saw my prompter go up and down. Just one last shout out as well. Thank you for everyone stuck with us today. We've had a number of pauses and delays. It sucks for everybody, but I hope you've enjoyed the games. That last one was a banger. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what discussion is on social media and on Reddit, because It's so different, the contrast. And also, when you do have a player come back to a region, you know, in Kobe, one that was like very hyped up and very excited, and he has such a great performance, but then loses, it's spicy.
And here's the best part, right? We get to hear from Kabe in just a second.
Yes.
Right? He's going to be on PGL.